Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. Gautam Mataji, I was trying to give you the recording rights. Do you have them now? Your name keeps moving. 1 second. I'll do it like this. Yeah, I think you should have it now. Okay, great. All right. Okay, welcome everybody to chat, chapter a day of Bhagavad Gita. Thank you for tuning in. If anybody is joining us for the first time, my name is Divyanam Das. And along with me, few other devotees, we do recite a chapter of Bhagavad Gita with the devotees every evening. So I'm just going to share my screen and mute everybody. And the devotees already know who are reciting, but just for everybody's information, we have Navneet Prabhu who's doing English and Vishalini Mataji is doing Sanskrit.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'm going to mute everybody. You can unmute yourself and then we can begin the recitation.
As Ellen searches deeper into the depths.
Okay, wait a second. Having problems. 1 second. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare. Just give me a moment. I'm just trying to open the file. Okay. So yeah. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram. Okay, so sorry, my computer is a little bit slow for some reason today, so it's just opening up the file, which I can share with you all now. Okay, right. Okay. Here is a file which you should be able to see it. Okay, let me expand the file a little bit. Sorry, it's just my settings of my laptops have changed today because I was trying to work on it. Let me see if I can zoom this. We are starting with the text 28. So you can make a start, Mataji, if you have the Bhagavad Gita, and I request everybody else to open up your Bhagavad Gitas while I look to zoom this. You can start with the invocation prayers. Please go ahead.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chapter 11, the Universal Form. Text 28. Yatha nadinam bhavam bhavega samudram eva puttimo hadrvanti tatha tavani naralokavira vishanti vitranya avivijavanti.
As the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouths.
29. यथा प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं पतङ्गा विशन्ति नाशाय समृतवेग तथैव नाश्यानि सन्ति लोकास्तवापि वक्त्राणि समृतवेगः.
I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths, as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire.
30. यदीहयसे समन्तान् लोकान् समगान् वैद्यहर्षव्लादपि ऋजुभिरपूर्य जगत्समग्रं पाशास्तवोग्र प्रतपन्ति विष्णु.
O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible scorching rays.
31. आख्यानमेको भवनुग्ररूपो नमस्तु ते देववर प्रसीद विजान्तमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यं नहि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम्.
O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. You are the primal Lord. I want to know about you, for I do not know what your mission is.
32. श्रीभगवानुवाच कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षय प्रीतिप्रवर्तो लोकान् समहर्तम् इह प्रवृत्ता ऋतेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्व यदिशयवस्थिता प्रत्यानेकेषु योगा.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people, with the exception of you, the Pandavas. All the soldiers here on both sides will be slain.
तस्मात् पङ्क्तिस्थाय शुलभस्व जिघाशतं पुंस्वा राज्यं समग्रं मया वेत्तं निहतपूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भव सेव्य साचिन्.
Therefore, get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Savya Sachin, can be put an instrument in the fight.
34. द्रोणं च भीष्मं च जयद्रथं च कर्णं तथा नयानपि योधवीरान् मया हतं स्वं जहिमा व्यथिस्ता योधस्वजेत्तसि रणे सपत्नान्.
Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and the other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight, and you will vanquish your enemies in battle.
35. Sanjay उवाच एतत् श्रुत्वा वचनं केशवस्य कृताञ्जलिर्विपमानकिरीटी नमस्कृत्वा भूय एव कृष्णं सगद्गदं भीत प्रणम्य.
Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjun offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows.
36. Arjun उवाच स्थाने ऋषिकेश तव किरीट्य जगत् प्रहर्ष्यत्य अनुजयत्य च रक्षांसि भीतानि दिशो द्रवन्ति सर्वा नमस्यन्ति च सीदसङ्ग.
Arjun said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, and the demons are afraid, and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done.
37. Kasmatjatena namiran mahatmano daryasa brahmano ya brahmano priyadikatre ananta devesha jagannivasa tvamaksharam salastatat param yat.
O Great One, greater even than Brahma, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you, O limitless One, God of gods, refuge of the universe? You are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation.
38. Tvamadideva Purusha Purana Purusha Puranas Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam Etansi Vedyam Cha Param Cha Dhana Tvayat Tattam Vishwam Anantarupa.
You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge above the material modes, all limitless form. This whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you.
39. Vayuryamovni Varuna Sashankha Prajapatistvam Prapitamahascha Namo Namastestu Sahasrapritva Punascha Bhuyopi Namo Namaste.
You are air, and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, and you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times, and again, and yet again.
40. Nama Purustat Atha Prathataste Namostu Namostu Te Sarvata Eva Sarva Anantavirya Amita Vikramastvam Sarvam Samapnosi Tatosi Sarva.
Obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all-pervading, and thus you are everything.
41 and 42. Sakiti Matva Prasabam Yada Uttam He Krishna He Yada He Sakiti Vajantam Mahimanam Tavedam Maya Pramadat Pranayana Vapi Yachaha Sarthamasvadikosi Swayasana Bhojanesu Ekothavyapya Akyutatat Samaksham Shamayitvam Aham Aprameyam.
Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadav, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses.
43 Pita Silokshay Characarasya Vamasya Putyascha Guru Variyan Natvat Samosti Adhikakutanya Lokatrayepi Apratima Prabhavan.
You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is equal to you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power?
44. तस्मात् प्रणमाय प्रणदाय कायं प्रसादये त्वाम् अहनिशानिध्यं पितेव सखेव सख्यु प्रियाप्रियाणसि देवशोधम्.
You are the Supreme Lord, to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, or a friend tolerates the impertinence of a friend, or a wife tolerates the familiarity of a partner, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done you.
45. अदृष्टपूर्वं मृष्टोऽस्मि दृष्ट्वा बालेन च प्रव्यथितं मनो मे तदेव मे दर्शय देवरूपं प्रसीदेवेश जगन्निवास.
After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lords of the Lord, O abode of the universe.
46. किरीटीनां गतीनां चक्रहस्तम् इच्छामि त्वं द्रष्टुम् अहं तथैव तेनैव रूपेण चतुर्भुजेन सहस्रबाहो भव विश्वमूर्ते.
O universal form, O thousand-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form.
47. श्री भगवान उवाच मया प्रश्नेन तव अर्जुनेदं रूपं परं दर्शितम् आत्मयोगत् तेजोमयं विश्वम् अनन्तमाद्यं यन्मे त्वदन्येन न दृष्टपूर्वम्.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjun, happily have I shown you, by my internal potency, this Supreme Universal Form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence.
48. न वेदयज्ञादयया निनादानेन च क्रियादेन तपोवीरमुग्रे एवं रूपशक्य अहं न लोके दृष्टं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीर.
O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances can I be seen in this form in the material world.
49. माते यथा मार्च विमोदभावो दृष्ट्वा रूपं घोरमित्रममेवं व्यपेतप्रीतं मना पुरुषत्वं तदेव मे रूपम् इदं प्रपश्य.
You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire.
50. Sanjay Uvaच इत्य अर्जुनं वसुदेवस्तथोक्त्वा स्वकं रूपं दर्शयामास भूय आश्वास्यमास च हितमेनं भूत्वा पुनः सौम्यवपुर्महात्मा.
Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-armed form, and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna.
51. Arjuna Vacha. Visvetam manusham rupam soumyam janardana idanamas asmi kamrita sacheta prakritim gata.
When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, O Janardhan, seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind, and I am restored to my original nature.
52. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Sudurdarshamidam rupam. Sorry. Sudarshamidam rupam drisvanasya mama devapyasya rupasya nityam darshana kangshinam.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear.
53. Naham vedena tapasa na danena chatena shakya evam nito drishtam drishtanasi mamayatha.
The form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am.
54. Bhaktyato anyanyeya shakya ahameva vido arjun nata drashtam cha tatvena praveshtam cha parantapa.
My dear Arjun, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding.
55. Mat karma krim, mat padma, mat bhakta, sangha vyat varachita, nirvera sarva bhutesu, yasamam eti pandava.
My dear Arjun, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, everybody.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhu. That was very nicely recited. Both of you, well done. Just for the future, I think the audio was slightly less. I think, Mataji, from your side, perhaps I didn't want you to interrupt, but I think it was audible. But perhaps maybe the volume could have been a bit more. That's what I'm getting the comments from the chat box. But very nicely recited. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Only
All
thing is, my computer was not working. It's not working with the volume.
I
So,
see.
yeah, eventually it will start doing it. Thank
All
you.
right, no problem. Okay, thank you, everybody. So we're just going to go to our text now, which is 11.43. That is the text we will be covering today. Because 11.41 and 11.42 was covered by Mukunda Hari Prabhu yesterday. So let me take you straight to that screen. Pita Shilokasya Characharasya Tvam Asya Pujasya Cha Gurur Gariyan Natvat Samosti Abhiyadika Kutanyo Loko Traepi Apratima Prabhava. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is greater than you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of the immeasurable power? Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is worshipable as Father is worshipable for his Son. He is the spiritual master because he originally gave the Vedic instructions to Brahma, and presently he is also instructing Bhagavad Gita to Arjun. Therefore, he is the original spiritual master, and any bona fide spiritual master at the present moment must be a descendant in the line of disciplic succession stemming from Krishna. Without being a representative of Krishna, one cannot become a teacher or spiritual master of transcendental subject matter. The Lord is being paid obeisances in all respect. He is immeasurable. He is of immeasurable greatness. No one can be greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, because no one is equal to or higher than Krishna within any manifestation, spiritual or material. Everyone is below him. No one can excel him. This is stated in Shvetashvara Upanishad 6.8. Na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. Na tat samascha bhyadikascha drishyate. The Supreme Lord Krishna has the senses and a body like an ordinary man, but for him there is no difference between his senses, his body, his mind, and himself. Foolish persons who do not perfectly know him say that Krishna is different from his soul, mind, heart, and everything else. Krishna is absolute, therefore his activities and potencies are supreme. It is also stated that although he does not have senses like ours, he can perform all sensory activities, therefore his senses are neither imperfect nor limited. No one can be greater than him, no one can be equal to him, and everyone is lower than him. The knowledge, strength, and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are all transcendental, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 4.9. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvata tyaktava deham punarjanma neti mameti so Arjuna. Whoever knows Krishna's transcendental body, activities, and perfection, after quitting his body, returns to him and doesn't come back again to this miserable world. Therefore, one should know that Krishna's activities are different from others. The best policy is to follow the principles of Krishna that will make one perfect. It is also stated that there is no one who's master of Krishna. Everyone is his servant. The Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 5.142 confirms Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arasabha Bhritya. Only Krishna is God and everyone else is his servant. Everyone is complying with his order. There is no one who can deny his order. Everyone is acting according to his direction, being under his superintendence. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, he is the cause of all causes. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyat Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhube Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Okay, Hare Krishna everyone. So thank you for joining us this evening, where we take off from this beautiful verse 11.43. Which we'll be discussing today. So just a quick recap before we go in. Anybody remembers 1 or 2 points from yesterday's text, 41 and 42? What was discussed? What was Arjuna trying to sort of establish? You can send a message or you can...
Arjun was expressing regret. that he had treated Krishna as his friend and had been very informal with him.
Yeah.
And
What else, Mataji? That's very good. Well done. So he was
then-
being very informal. What did Mukunda Hari Prabhu discuss? Any rasas? Like there are different rasas in spiritual world.
Yes.
Could you tell us
he did.
about that?
He discussed the 4 main rasas, the 6 main rasas. So it was starting from Shanta Rasa, Shanta,
Right. Yeah.
then Sakya, no,
Yeah. Santa, Sakya.
Sakya,
After Santa normally comes Dasya because that's the next.
Dasya, then Sakya, and then
Sakyaras.
Vasalya,
Yeah.
and then Madhurya. Does that cover all?
Right. That's the topmost rasa. So in the previous verse, we clearly saw, yes. So in the previous verse, 2 verses, we discussed how Arjuna, all of a sudden having seen this wonderful Virat Rupa of the Lord, starting to feel a little bit worried and started to think, hang on a minute, I had no idea that I was actually hanging around with a friend who was none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Imagine how does it feel if tomorrow, I mean, not that anything can happen with Krishna, but just imagine how would it feel that you're with somebody and it turns out that that person after a few years of devotional service reaches such a high platform that he becomes a spiritual master, and he starts to um, have these amazing realization. Imagine how would you feel? You will start to think, oh my God, I was just hanging out with this guy and look at him. He's now initiating, he's giving classes and he's preaching all over the world and he's doing such amazing activities. So there will be a sense of awe and reverence which will come into the relationship. And one would start to think that, oh, one should not be judgmental. So this is one learning which certainly comes to my mind, having seen this verse come in front of me, that you will start to think, oh my word, what is exactly happening here? Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I sat with him, I ate with him, I played with him. I even sometimes jokingly said some bad words, and I did not really treated him as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Arjuna was being very honest about the feelings he was having towards the Lord. And now in this particular text, let's see what's happening. Are you able to see my slides?
Yes.
Okay, so we are now in the section 4, which is this section where Arjuna's prayers is praying. He's trembling and he's begging for forgiveness, having previously been in ignorance. Although Acharyas explained that Arjuna was a pure devotee, he can't really be in ignorance, but for the time being, what happens is, in the case of the pure devotees, ladies and gentlemen, for a pure devotee of the Lord, it is not the material energy which puts him in ignorance. It actually is the Yoga Maya, the internal potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. It's the Yoga Maya which creates this curtain in front of the devotee so that that pastime can take place. Similar to how Yashoda Maya in the spiritual world is, how is it that she's able to bind the Lord? How is it she's able to be crying all the time, thinking of the Lord? How is it that she's able to see so many wonderful things in the lotus mouth of the Lord? So it is for the time being that the Yogamaya creates or facilitates a certain vision for a pure devotee of the Lord. So now fearfully he is requesting him to regain his 2 armed forms so that Arjuna can be established and be more composed as to what's happening. So there are a few points which are brought about. The purport was very straightforward. So, and also considering the time, I don't know how much time it's already 8:20, but some of the key points are that Arjuna is regarding Krishna as the supreme spiritual master. And he gives this knowledge to Brahma. Why? Because we hear from the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first text, Adi Brahma Kavaye, that right at the outset of Krishna giving birth to Lord Brahma, or Lord Brahma appearing from the womb of the Lord, actually, and then coming out of the lotus, we see after Brahma appeared, he did not know how to create. He didn't even know where he got created from. So he was looking from all directions, and then he got the four heads. And then he was trying to look down and see where his source was. So the only first thing Brahma heard was the word tapa. So the tapa means to perform penance, and then Brahma performed penance for many thousands of years. Only then Krishna was able to reveal the knowledge to Brahma in his heart, because Krishna was situated outside, but Krishna was also situated inside. So in that sense, because Brahma was the first living entity which to whom Krishna imparted this knowledge, he's considered the first, he's considered the supreme spiritual master. And Prabhupada makes a very beautiful point that nobody can claim to be a spiritual master until and unless that person is coming in the disciplic succession. Evam parampara praptam imam rajar sayo vidu swakalene mahata yogo nashta parantapa. Only in the disciplic succession this truth is revealed, actually. And because this chain was broken, Krishna himself appeared to reveal this spiritual science to Arjuna. So please, when you are thinking of taking an initiation, my dear Prabhus and Matajis, or at all exploring to take the path of Krishna consciousness or any path seriously, please make sure that you are at least in the line of the four bona fide sampradaya, of which the Gaudiya Madhav Sampradaya is the most auspicious Sampradaya, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally appeared in this Sampradaya, and he reignited the process of the Hare Krishna Sankirtan and spreading the Sankirtan movement all over the world. So there is a special benediction available in this Sampradaya. So anybody who gets the opportunity to take initiation or shelter in this Sampradaya is the most glorious personality. So please seek shelter of a bona fide parampara and the acharyas. Second point is, I would have gone into the detail of this beautiful verse from the third canto, but suffice to say some points I noted from Srila Prabhupada's purport from this verse is that we should accept, as I said, Krishna as a spiritual master, because Krishna and his confidential devotees, Krishna is not alone. He's always with his devotees. That's why sometimes devotees like Narada, devotees like Brahma, devotees like Narada, Brahma, who else? Prahlad Maharaj. All these devotees are also sometimes referred with the name Bhagavan because they are non-different to the Lord, in the sense because they are carrying the Lord in their heart all the time. Hence, Krishna is non-different from these things. So his qualities, his abode, his associate, Krishna is never alone. He's always with his devotees. Even for him to enact any pastimes, Krishna doesn't come. He tells the Devi Devatas that you go down, take birth in Vrindavan in these forms, and I'll soon appear. And that's how Krishna manifests his form. So similarly, we see when a king is traveling, he's always associated with his paraphernalia, secretaries, commanders, and many servants, and his chariot, like that. So like similarly, Krishna is along with his entire entourage when he comes down to the spiritual world. So spiritual master is similarly is part of that entourage of the Lord, because why do you think the acceptance of spiritual master is important? The reason it is important is that we are currently conditioned in the material world. Spiritual master is already on the transcendental platform, or at least he's tattvavadi, that verse in the Bhagavad Gita, pranipatena pariprashnena yogayat. What is the whole verse?
Tadvidi
Tadvidi
pranipatena
Tadvidi
pranipatena
pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam
Jnanina
Jnaninam
Tattva
Tattva Darshina. So the spiritual master is already seeing the absolute truth. When we approach him with submission, with the service attitude, three things are required when we approach the spiritual master according to this verse. We need to be submissive. We should render some service to the spiritual master, and then we should inquire from him submissively. So when we do these three things, then the truth is revealed to us because the spiritual master is already seeing the truth. So hence, when one takes the glorious position of being a humble servant at the lotus feet, or even at the dust situated at the lotus feet of the spiritual master, from that we can actually make spiritual progress. Prahlad Maharaj speaks in the 7th canto. In fact, not Prahlad Maharaj, it's Jat Bharat is telling King Rahuguna in the 4th canto of the 5th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 21st, in the 14th chapter of the Bhagavatam, he's saying that, my dear King Rahuguna, until one completely smears his body from the dust of the lotus feet of the Vaishnava, he cannot make a spiritual advancement. Imagine that. So one, of course, it can be taken in a literary sense when you have a spiritual master who stepped onto the place where you are or staying with you, or you're getting to serve him. Do what it takes to get to the dust of the feet from that spiritual masters and put it on your feet. Even where he walks, rub your hand against it, roll in that place and put it literally in your hand. So that's the one meaning. The second meaning, to smear the dust of the lotus feet of the spiritual master, is to accept the instructions of the spiritual master as heart and soul, Srila Prabhupada says, and make that your life. And by doing so, all perfection will come from you. There cannot be anything which can stop you in the devotional service in the long run by doing so. That's what Srila Prabhupada did. We can see it from his example, how he followed his spiritual master. That's what we see from Srila Prabhupada disciples, how they are following his spiritual master, and the entire parampara like that. So that's the point in this connection. And then there is no difference between Krishna's body and himself, as we see and have heard that for us to eat, we need a mouth. For us to walk, we need legs. But Krishna's senses are such that he can eat from his eyes. That's how he eats our food. When we offer him in the bhoga with devotion, he looks at us with his beautiful transcendental eyes. And then with that eyes, he bestows that glance and he eats it with the eyes. And similarly, he can use his hands to do the function of what could somebody be doing with legs. So here Prabhupada says, although he appears in the same transcendental body and the Lord of the universe, it still appears that he takes birth like an ordinary living entity. And although his body does not deteriorate like a material body, it still appears that Lord Krishna grows from childhood to boyhood, from boyhood to youth. But astonishingly enough, he never ages beyond youth. At the same time of the battle of the Kurukshetra, he had many grandchildren at home, or in other words, he had sufficiently aged by material calculation. Still, he looked just like a young man, 20 or 25 years old. This is what he looked, but he wasn't. Please note that. We never see a picture of Krishna in an old age because he never grows old like us. Although he is the oldest person in the whole creation, past, present, and future, neither his body nor his intelligence ever deteriorates or changes. Therefore, it is clear that in spite of his being in the material world, he is the same unborn, eternal form of bliss, knowledge, changeless in his transcendental body and intelligence. So now you know that the Lord is unchangeable. His body and his soul, there's no difference. It is Sachit Ananda Vigraha. Sarva Karana Karanam. So he's complete, he's the cause of all causes, and his body is completely transcendental. He does not have a layer, 3 layers like we have. The gross body made up of 5 elements, then the subtle body made up of another 3 elements, and then finally the soul, which is made up of same quality as the Lord, but in a very minute way. The Lord, he and his, there's no gross and subtle for Lord. He is what it is. And what is the result of knowing the Lord in that way? Can somebody tell me what did Prabhupada say in concluding that purport? What is the result once you know the Lord is like that?
He is the cause of all causes.
He is the cause of all causes. But once you know all these things, what happens to you? Prabhupada quotes a beautiful verse from Bhagavad Gita.
Janma karma cha me divyam.
That's right. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvata taktava deham punarjanma neti mameti so Arjuna. So one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So here is a great opportunity, Prabhus and Matajis, that for us to attain the transcendental abode of the Lord by understanding the transcendental nature of the appearance and the activities of the Lord. So yes, it's easy and to say it, but it is also easy for somebody who has a simple heart to follow. So we have to carry on accepting the lotus feet of the Lord Purushottam, and especially this is a great opportunity as we are embracing the month of Purushottam starting on Friday, very auspicious month, to make spiritual advancement in this month. It's a great month because this month is very dear to Krishna, even more dear than the month of Kartik. So we should take full advantage of this month by taking shelter of the Lord. How the Pandavas took shelter of this month, it is explained. I always land up not telling the story and the time is passed away. So should I try to summarize the story in the next 5 minutes and then we can have the reflection? Or if you've already heard it, then it's fine.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so I won't go into the detail of it, but here is the story. One time, well, you know how the Bhagavatam was spoken for the second time. So when Sutta Goswami was speaking to the sages of Naimisharanya, before speaking to and he said, I'm going to now narrate the Bhagavatam. And just before that narration, he explains that one time, Narad Muni goes to Badrika Ashram, where to take the darshan of Naranarayan Rishi. There he asked the Lord that please, the world is really suffering at the moment and give us a solution of, how we can make a spiritual progress. And then Naranarayan Rishi speaks to him about this auspicious month of Purushottam. And he says that all the living entities can make the spiritual progress, how the Pandavas made this progress. And then the story goes back into the time of Mahabharata, where it is explained that Krishna visits the Pandavas in the last year of the month of exile. And during that time, when he sees their condition and sees how they are living, he becomes very upset with Duryodhan, almost ready to get up and conquer the entire Kurus then and there, actually, without the help of Pandavas. But on the request of the Pandavas, he takes a seat and then he begins to speak and tell them that actually the reason you are suffering for this is because you guys did not follow the month of Purushottam, especially precisely Draupadi, because in the previous life, Draupadi was Medhavi and she was a daughter of a sage, and her mother had died at a very early age, Medhavi's daughter. And then she was young, wanted to get married, but decided never, wanting to get married, but couldn't find a right groom. And her father was also not so much interested, so he also passed away. And one day, Durvasha Muni came to Medhavi's place, and Medhavi served him fruits, looked after him, and then she prayed to Durvasha Muni that, "Oh sage, I do not have a husband, so please tell me what can I do in order to have a husband." Durvasha Muni explained to him that, you need to, the Purushottam month is fast approaching. It only comes once in 3 years. And you please try to observe that month very, very nicely, and all your spiritual and material desires will be fulfilled. And she said, how can a month like Mal Mas is a month which is condemned of all the months. It's an extra month which is just not required. How can that month be auspicious? In that way, in one sense, she made that offense, but Durvasha Muni said, I'm not going to take the offense because you've lost your intelligence, and I'm not going to curse you, but I can see that you will take birth in the next life and unfortunately have to go through many difficulties because of this one reason of not having faith in Purushottam month. So you see, the month of Mal Mas was originally an extra month which needed shelter. And this month went to Vaikunta, to Lord Vishnu, and begged for shelter. And Lord Vishnu said, all of this creation is created my Lord who's sitting in Golok Vrindavan. I can't do anything. Let me take you. I'm paraphrasing because time is less. So he took the Malmas with him to Golok Vrindavan, and he told Krishna that she's constantly crying and saying that I can't take shelter of anybody. Nobody regards me. Everybody, uh, really looks at me as I'm the worst month. And Lord Krishna then gave the shelter to this month, saying that from today, I will marry this month, and this month will become the most auspicious month, even more dear than the Kartik month. So this month of Purushottam is the month of the Lord. It's a very, very dear month of the Lord. So then she takes the shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And from there on, this month becomes the most glorious month, actually. So then Krishna concludes this story. Another session when I have time, I can go into the detail. And then Krishna brings it back. I mean, if we go back to now Mahabharata and we look at the scene there, then Krishna reminds Draupadi, because you did not have the faith in the month of Purushottam, now the Purushottam is coming. So please observe it nicely, thinking of me, thinking of the Lord Purushottam. And Pandavas do it exactly how Krishna told them. And then you see it is explained in one of the Purans that also becomes one of the reasons why Pandavas were able to have their kingdom back and were so rightly situated spiritually as a devotee of the Lord of Purushottam, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that very evidence explains how glorious this month is. If we were to follow our vows and do something, it would be really, really nice. So what I would like you to do is, now we have 8:37. I would like you to take 3 minutes and come up with 3 things, 1 minute for each of the things that we should all be doing. And I will also make a note. Take a pen and paper. If not, take your phones, make a note. 3 vows you will take to do something extra in the month of Purushottam. If you've already done so, that's wonderful. But let's do this 3-minute exercise. If you're chanting 4 rounds, take a vow to chant 8, or whatever practically you can do. Because whatever you do, it is multiplied 10,000 times. Let me read a verse to you. I don't have the exact translation, but here it is. 1 second. I sent it to my Guru Maharaj today. Kartik Chand Prabhu shared this verse from Padma Puran. It's a broken translation. Just as the seeds deposited in the furrows of the plowed field grow and multiply tens of millions of times, similarly, any pious deed or punyam or done this month of Purushottam multiplies by tens of millions of times. Koti gunam, 1 koti is 10 million. So imagine, I mean, forget about 1,000. We are talking 10 million here, Prabhus and Matajis. So please take 3 minutes, write down that I'm going to get up in the Brahma Muhurat, which is highly recommended, before the sunrise, at least 1.5 hours before the sunrise. I will chant these many extra rounds this time. I'm going to give up this particular thing, which I like the most for the pleasure of Purushottam. Whatever that may be, whatever practical it is, 3 things. So off we go, 3 minutes.
Prabhuji, what date does it start?
It starts on Friday, Mataji.
Friday. For 30 days.
It finishes on 16th of October.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, 20 seconds more. Somebody's asking, okay, we'll take the questions in 30 seconds. Okay, hi Krishna. How was the exercise? Was it good?
Prabhuji.
Hi Krishna Palika Mataji, you were saying something?
Yes, not just I made a promise myself. That's what I.
Oh, you did. Fantastic. So here's the secret of the exercise. We're not going to reveal this to with each other. We're going to reveal it to Lord Purushottam, who's situated in our heart. I've heard it. I'm not sure that sometimes when you say the vow, especially in relation to your sadhana, there are chances of it being risked at or broken at. So pray to Lord Purushottam today that my Lord, on this auspicious, the most auspicious month of all the months of the month of Purushottam, which is starting on Friday, I have written down these 3 things, which I'm going to put it on a big piece of paper later on, put it right in front of me so I can always remind me, because if you don't put your goal in front of you, you'll not be able to remember what you have committed to, and you won't be able to try and follow it if you can't keep it in front of you. So keep it in front of you, and then try to follow it for the whole month. And then after the month, we can have a session where we will discuss how did it go, what vows did we take, how was it helpful, how much progress did I make, how was my experience. So some devotees are asking some questions, so let me answer those that I can answer if there are specific questions. Should we be fasting in this month? Well, the fasting is not required as in complete fasting, but you can definitely reduce something to help your spiritual life, because the more we think of the bodily demands, which is obviously to do with eating, and prasadam is of course transcendental, that is definitely helpful. So I know many devotees, I won't share my vows, but many devotees take a vow of eating unprasad only once. They will take fruits in the morning and probably eating once only un. Some will compromise one meal in the evening. Some will leave the dessert. Some will leave fried. It depends how you want to do it. But what I would say, do what is practical for you and try to stick with it. Certainly doing Tulsi Maharani's Aarti every day is highly recommended. Reading Srimad Bhagavatam, highly recommended. Um, Abstaining from any, at least 1 month of a celibacy activity is highly recommended. And all these things are there as a minimum, which is there in the Purushottam. If you can do, there are many more, list goes on, but these are simple things. Chanting of extra rounds, highly recommended. Reading Bhagavad Gita, 15 chapter, highly recommended. That's what we're going to do from Friday. Actually, we'll be moving to 15 chapter. Okay, couple of more points here. Fasting, giving up something you enjoy materially, reading more of Srila Prabhupada books, that is highly recommended. Thank you, Mataji. Saroj Mataji. Jolly Mataji, I will continue. Okay, Jolly Mataji shared her vows with everybody. She's brave. Well done, Mataji. Thank you. You'll reach 16 rounds every day and chapter a day of Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavatam class every day. Beautiful vow. Well done, Jolly Mataji. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. By constant hearing of Bhagavatam classes, all that which is troublesome to the heart is completely eradicated. Hema Mataji is saying stutis from Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, right. Brahma Stuti is highly recommended from the 10th canto, by the way, in this month. Jagannath Ashtakam, highly recommended, because this is the month of Purushottam. Lord Jagannath is Lord Purushottam himself. So chanting or singing Jagannath Ashtakams is highly recommended. So these are some of the things. Now we can take any comments or questions or reflections. Sorry, I think by the time I started to share or speak, it was 8:10, so we kind of have less time for comments, but we can take some reflections or comments or questions. Another thing which is highly recommended above all these things, if you can do all this, that means your sadhana will be very strong. But the strong sadhana becomes really strong when you spread Krishna consciousness and especially distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. So we will be coming up with something, with some small ideas, something small everybody can do is introduce Bhagavad Gita to others this month. So watch out for the news. I think on Sunday, there's going to be a thank you session from His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu. We are finalizing the time for the global world of ISKCON, of thanking the devotees in taking part in Bhadra campaign. And there we will reveal what is happening in the month of this month and in the next couple of months with all of you. So watch the space. There's more information to come.
Hare Krishna Dipanam.
Hare Krishna, Palika Mataji.
Just a small little information. I was listening to in Mayapur TV in the morning, and the Prabhu was saying, you know, it's very good to have when you have your shower in the morning, just chant Ganges Lane, you know, Ganga.
Har Har Gange, that's right. That's
I
right.
said it's very good for this then, because you can't go to Ganges. So to chant 3 times is as good as you're having a shower, you are having a bath in Ganges.
That's right, Mataji.
That's what I heard.
That is true. Absolutely. If you don't have the Ganga water, just say Har Har Gange 3 times. My son does it ever since he started to take bath. We taught him. So it's nice actually to take the names of the holy rivers during this time. Okay. So if no one has any other comments or questions, so yeah, it's a great month. Please reach out to others. His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj wrote to my spiritual master recently that Shishka Prabhu, what are you thinking of this month? This is the most glorious month. Bhadra has ended, but what's next? That was the question Jayapataka Maharaj asked, and obviously Maharaj was already thinking of something. So, but because it came from Jayapataka Maharaj, it became even more sort of prominent. So we had a nice meeting over the last few days. We are putting something together, the global team, and we will share with all of you hopefully by Sunday. Although it will be well into the Purushottam month, but that's okay. We can still take advantage of it actually. So thank you everybody for dedicating your life to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and to this process of Krishna consciousness, which is really sublime and the most wonderful process you can be in unison with in the world. So thank you for your association and time this evening. If you have any reflections, you can leave it in the chat box. I can read them. If not, please look after yourself, stay safe. And tomorrow evening, session Mukunda Hari Prabhu is not available. So we'll have probably Madhu Kumari Mataji, and I'll be back on Friday and Saturday. Vancha Kalpataru Vishya, Kripa Sindhu Ve Bacha, Patita Nam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, everybody.
Thank you. Next time you can leave your videos on so we can see each other, like some of you started to do. Chandra Chaitanya Prabhu, I can see Sangeeta Mataji. All their effulgent faces are nice to see.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mukunda.
Thank you, Rupa
Thank
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, enlightening for the Purushottam month. I must admit that you really given us some more spirit for the coming month. I was looking forward for this.
Pray that I
Purushottam
get the
month.
spirit, Mataji, while giving
Hare
it to
Krishna.
others.
Thank you,
Hare
Haribol. Thank you
Krishna.
very
Thank
much.
Palika Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Karta Mataji, for recording this session. You're doing a wonderful service. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the class. Haribol.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.